Anton, we watched the
Yep.
Odyssey last night. What did you think of
Yep.
it, dude?
Dude, I'm still fucking thinking about this movie. But yeah, dude, I cannot stop thinking about this movie just because, dude, this might be the film of the year. It's at the very least, it's in the big three. I think there's gonna be a talk around the about three movies this year. I think it's Obsession, I think it's Project Hail Mary, and I think it's The Odyssey. And honestly, I think The Odyssey is better than both of those movies. But I think it's going to be close enough that people are still going to have that conversation because they're so wildly different from one another that it's just going to be like a matter of opinion and taste.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those are my top three favorite movies of 2026 so far. And I think to this point, Project Hail Mary was my number one until last night. I think this movie easily surpassed it. Um, I I I think it easily is in my top three Christopher Nolan movies of all time. And I think it would be fun if we just quickly go through most of this movie, try and piece together some of the most important parts of the movie. And yeah, there's so much to unpack here. So, Anton, what did you think of the first 10 minutes of this movie?
Oh my God, the first 10 minutes where they fucking first person that shows up on screen is you think it's going to be some dramatic opening with like Odysseus? No, it's fucking Travis Scott. A war, a king, a feast.
Award!
Oh,
Award!
pull that shit up. Just had that on standby.
This movie absolutely starts off with a banger with Travis Scott. I know uh, a lot of people were talking about his casting and why he's even in the movie, but you really enjoyed him, right?
Honestly, yeah. Travis kind of fucking he grew on me a lot throughout the movie.
I just think he had so much aura in those first, what is it, 30 seconds of the movie. It was just awesome to see
Every
him in
time
there.
they fucking reintroduced him in the movie, I got so juiced because it was just a war. Dun, 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 dun. It's just that, and then
Yeah,
because you knew after he would say some shit like that, you're going into another huge sequence with Odysseus.
exactly. And we were talking about this that it would have been so easy for Christopher Nolan to start off with the Trojan War sequence. And instead, he takes the time to get us introduced to all the main characters. Tom Holland as Telemachus and Anne Hathaway as Penelope. What did you think of the first 10 minutes outside of that? Did you think it started off well? Do you think it started off slow? Some people think it was a little bit of a slow start, but I thought it was necessary to get this story rolling.
I think with a character like Odysseus, you kind of, especially at this point in the story after the Iliad, which I mean, for people who don't know, the Iliad was like the Trojan War and everything that came right before the Odyssey. So we're at that point where we're just starting the Odyssey and we just finished the Iliad. So at this point in the story, Odysseus is already a character that really needs like he. I mean, you could say he needs an introduction, but dude, for people who aren't aware, like you really need to fucking set this guy up and have him be introduced as like this larger than life figure.
Yeah,
And then it makes it even crazier. It makes it even crazier when immediately after you see him in the fucking desert just eating on lotus leaves with Calypso, just doing nothing.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I
it's I
mean,
th- I'm I think it's a baller ass opening.
it
That's
shows
all I'll say.
constraint. It shows constraint on Christopher Nolan's part with not immediately showing Odysseus. I mean, he's setting the stage of what's going on in Ithaca with Penelope and all the suitors, and I pretty much liked all the suitors. I think they all did a good job. Robert Pattinson. There's some other familiar faces in the movie too, but yeah, I thought it was really interesting that the first we see of Odysseus is on Calypso's island, and he has no memory of anything. And even though that has been used as a plot device in many other movies, I think It was already based in the book. It was a pretty good structure for this movie, just remembering all of his men that he fought alongside with. So
Yeah.
I think I think especially when we start getting into the first couple right after they win the Trojan War, they have the constraint not to show you the Trojan horse and all the stuff that happens with it until like halfway through the movie. We're gonna get to that sequence, but then we really start seeing Odysseus in the beginning of his journey on his way home and how he interacts with all of his men and all the journey that they have to go through. And I think this is when you start seeing just how amazing the scale of this movie is. I mean, it is unbelievable seeing the ships and the practical effects. What did you think of that?
Dude, this is gonna be something that people don't really harp on a lot, but dude, I am a huge fan of movies using using practical effects. I think the choice that Christopher Nolan made to actually use physical ships and to use all this shit that's like instead of just resorting to CGI, I think that's a man. I as a film buff, as someone who went to like film studies classes, this is heading right home for me.
Yeah, and it's just crazy where I've always been craving that sort of Pirates of the Caribbean sort of just
Yeah,
on
man.
the sea, you're just taking it all in, the environment. And it's just like the camera is bobbing with the water. It's just unbelievable. You could tell he's just filming from another boat. And I think it leads to one of the coolest and almost definitely the most suspenseful sequence of the entire movie with the Cyclops in the cave. That is the most iconic moment in the book, in my opinion. And what did you think of that whole sequence and how practical the Cyclops was?
Dude, honest to God, that might be that one scene on its own scared me more than like the majority of horror movies that came out from this year and last year.
I
Like
agree.
just like no shade to the guy who made this, but like the guy who made the back rooms is probably fucking punching the air right now looking at this. Just like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck? I mean, maybe he's not. Maybe it's that's not where he wanted to go with that film. But like, bro, I mean, you saw it, right?
I
I
saw the
I
back
I
rooms.
I
Yeah.
didn't see myself. All I heard was that it was like it's a horror movie that isn't scary and is more just like a like kind of a drama thing.
The back rooms was not my favorite. I honestly didn't find it that scary. It was more of like you have to be scared of the idea of the back rooms versus
Mm.
what's in it. But otherwise, like it is so effective and very frightening, this entire sequence, because of just the sound design. I mean, we can get into
I
this. We were
am a
talking
fucking
about this.
architect.
We were talking about this, but we're not sure if this is an actual complaint of the movie or if this is just like the IMAX experience. But especially in that scene, it was so deafening and it is
Bro,
very hard to understand what is going on. But in this sequence, you do start to see some differences from the book. The Cyclops really doesn't talk to Odysseus in the scene at all.
no. And that's that. Honestly, I think it was a decent choice to go with that, but man, I would have loved to seen fucking Odysseus just talking with this guy. I think in the book what was it called like Polyphemus? I don't know.
Yeah,
Just we'll call him the Cyclops. Just having that conversation with the Cyclops and then fucking telling him, "Oh, who stabbed me? Who stabbed me? Nobody. I'm nobody."
yeah,
I think that, and then having that be the fucking how they avoid Poseidon's wrath, or I guess they didn't in the movie. They kind of they can't avoid Poseidon's wrath. That's the whole point. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's I think it makes sense, but it would have been cool to see the original in action.
I totally agree. I think I really liked the idea of him talking to the Cyclops instead of just some random member on the ship saying, "Oh, now we have to face Poseidon's wrath," that sort of thing, like having to explain that whole thing. But I think this was my absolutely favorite part of the movie when we're just going to island, land to land, and we're just experiencing different wrath of gods, different beings. It was just absurd. Every single sequence in this movie. We were also talking about the woods sequence with the moving trees.
Oh my god, yeah, with the fucking man eaters.
Yeah,
I honestly, I honestly forgot that that was in the book, and I was so confused when that was happening. I was like, "Oh, the trees are moving. Oh, it's like magic. Oh, is this
yeah,
Cersei's island?" And then I see like bunch of armored knights just come out of the woodwork, and I'm just like, "What
yeah.
the fuck is going on?
And they just start
What is
murking
happening?"
everyone.
I
Yeah,
I almost pulled my phone out just to fucking look this up. It's like, did this happen?
yeah,
Grok, is this true?
yeah,
Grok, is this true? Musk. There's
yeah,
been the movie is actually not that very good at all, and it's actually
yeah.
a part of the woke mind virus. So I
Yeah,
wonder, dude.
yeah.
Speaking of which, I wonder how many of those motherfuckers that made videos like days before the movie even came out. I wonder how many of them are gonna backtrack on that.
Well, because here's also an important part. Elliot Page isn't even Achilles in this movie. Elliot Page is Sinon,
That's what
and
I'm confused about. It's like
yeah,
y'all are complaining about an actor playing a character that's not even in the movie to begin with.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
There is no sight of Achilles in this entire movie.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. This is taking place after the events of the
Yeah,
Iliad, and they already got his ass there.
yeah,
I mean,
and
it would have been
yeah,
cool to have like a flashback scene there because they do mention him. They mention like Ajax, they mention Achilles, they mention
yep,
all these other like great warriors that died in the war. So maybe it would have been cool to see them like in action,
yeah.
but it then again it could have taken that might have taken away from the point of the movie. So
Plus, Elliot Page is only in the movie for 4 minutes, so it's like it doesn't even
fuck
matter.
yeah,
It
bro.
doesn't
Like,
even matter. All the controversial stuff is in the movie. I was saying this in my review. In total, if you wanted to add all the controversial stuff up, it's in the movie for 8 minutes. 8 minutes. So I don't get it. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm
bro
wrong.
had a fucking a checklist of all the
Yeah,
fucking all the
yeah.
grifter talking points and just tallied it
Okay.
all up.
Elliot Page, Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, Dad,
Honestly,
Daddy.
I didn't even hate that part. I didn't even hate Lupita
Yeah,
as Helen, bro. Because
she
like
was
I
a
feel like that would
standout.
make honestly that makes more sense than like fucking Margot Robbie or some other white actress being Helen of Troy. Because it's like, okay, you got hella white chicks in Greece, or at
Yeah,
least in this version of Greece. It makes sense that a woman that looks like vastly different from everyone else and is still like relatively attractive. That yeah, that would be fucking that'd be something that's like
would be
considered like a
desired.
treasure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree with the point you're making. I just think, and let's also talk about this. The complaint was about father and daddy being used like interchangeably when
Bro,
it should have really been father.
that's such a
Did you
fucking nothing burger issue, bro.
did you
Oh
notice
my
him ever
god.
saying dad in the movie like consistently? I kept hearing him say father throughout the entire movie.
I heard him say dad at least a few times, and it's like on one hand I kind of get it from the people who are used to like older movies and like older adaptations where they use a lot of that British accent and that old like what's it called, like mid-Atlantic or transatlantic accent
Yeah.
in like Hollywood movies. I get it if you're used to that, but at the same time, bro, the people in the Odyssey were not talking like purely sophisticated fucking aristocrats. They were fucking for the most part they were regular ass people. Well, like
Exactly. Yeah.
as regular as you can get in a Greek myth, but still they talked like normal people. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that that fucking Tom Holland wouldn't be talking about, oh, my father has gone out to war. Like, shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I will say that Tom Holland overall in this movie did a really good job as Telemachus. I mean, he
Dude, yeah, I think most of the people that were like in like lead positions, like Telemachus, Odysseus, Penelope, I think all of them, I think everyone at least did their part well.
I agree. I agree. I felt like maybe when I'm thinking about this, like a day after, the one person that was kind of like slightly underbaked was Calypso. I just felt like it
Really.
was very, yeah, because I always felt like in the book it was a little more, you know, it it was more elaborated on why she was keeping him there for so long, and you get to know more about their
Yeah.
connection. But it just kind of felt forced in, like, oh, I kept you on this island for 7 years. Like, I didn't want you to deal with your struggle and your pain. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go
Yeah,
on with your whatever.
it's kind of a telling and not showing situation going on there, and I kind of
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. But overall, when we start getting to island, it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal seeing all these different challenges that they have to face to get home. And then
Dude,
we
yeah.
finally get to an island. And at this point, all the men are upset with Odysseus. They think they've been cursed by Poseidon. They're in bad favor with Poseidon. And they pretty much tell him, stay on the ship, bitch boy. And they go up to the shack and they're trying to get some food. And this is where they see Samantha Morton. And I think she did a fantastic job. And do you want to talk more about this sequence here?
Oh my God, bro. I That whole fucking sequence of them just fucking that might be the most disgust. That might be more disgusting than anything I've ever seen in like Obsession. And
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. That you if you've seen Obsession, you know how fucking crazy that is for me to say.
it was
That
disgusting.
whole that whole
It was
scene is just
disgusting.
fucking just a crowd of men just fucking just stuffing their faces like just to the and it's not even like a oh they're hungry. It's like dude they're fucking dude they're bloating themselves up. It's like it's fucking disgusting. And then
They're
you
like
see fucking
choking.
Cersei
Yeah.
just like just fucking stretching this dude's face like it's Play-Doh into
Oh,
a fucking
it was
pig.
disgusting. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was unbelievable. I mean, like, the sound design, this entire sequence, is just like you just hear people like choking and like gagging on all this food and all this like stuff getting stuck in their throat. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable
I mean, dude,
sequence.
they sold that scene fucking crazy, bro. That was insane.
And that's
That
not
was
in the
insane.
marketing at all. Like, if you didn't read the Odyssey, you would have had no idea this was what was happening in the thing in the movie. Like, we were watching it with
Dude,
a
yeah.
friend. It was his first time. Like, he hadn't read the book or anything, and
Oh
I
yeah.
want to ask him how he felt during this scene because it was incredible. It was incredible watching this, and Matt Damon, he has to go up and save his men. It was just, it was crazy. It was a
Dude, and
crazy sequence.
I love that they have an explanation as to why he knows what he knows. Why he's like he's at least wary going into Cersei's fucking hut because because they show him hunting this elk that turns out to be just a dude that's transformed. So it's like, oh shit, something's up.
Yeah,
So it's not like a Sherlock type situation where he just I just know these things because I have a
yeah,
2000 IQ. No, it's
yeah. He has the
this is fucking
intuition. He has
weird.
the intuition
We
that the
should get
pigs.
out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's like
He doesn't have the intuition.
I think it's a really good touch there.
It was just an unbelievable scene, and she pretty much tells him to go west, right? Go west, and
Yeah.
he has to go to the underworld practically and speak with the dead. And correct me if I'm wrong. During the sequence, I felt like he talked to a lot more of the fallen soldiers, right? I'm pretty sure this is
Yeah.
when, like in the book, he talks to Achilles. I'm pretty sure he talks to Achilles in the book
I
during
I
this
think
time.
so. I could be wrong though. Um
Yeah, do you want to fact check that? Because
I'm just gonna
um he talks to Sinon during this time, and it is very like emotionally impactful. He also talks to Agamemnon, right? Um, and yeah, it was just he gives him the
Jamie,
advice of yeah. What
Jamie,
were you
could you
saying?
pull this up real quick? Okay, yeah, okay. It says yes, Odysseus speak. Yeah, okay, yeah. So we're right. He talks to Achilles in the Odyssey, and it's kind of like a comforting thing where it's like it's kind of in
It
line
was like a
with the
joke.
other, huh?
It was kind of like a like comedic a little bit, right? With Achilles when he talks to him in the Odyssey.
I mean, kind of. It's just it's him like kind of it's if what I remember is right, it's Achilles is like lamenting on his like legacy and like what what he could have done.
I yes,
And then
yeah,
and then
yeah,
Odysseus is like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're a great hero. You did all of this. And then he's like, dude, I don't even care about that. I'd rather be like a fucking slave than a powerful king, bro.
yeah.
That's what I remember. I could be completely wrong on that though.
I feel
So,
like I remember
you know,
that. I feel like I remember that. But
if y'all in the comments want to fact check me on that, please do.
yeah, I that whole sequence was good. Um, it was very interesting. I think we skipped the fact of we also just went over and skipped the Trojan horse sequence, which is
Wow.
this. I think the Trojan horse sequence, that span of like 10 minutes in the movie, or 5 or 10 minutes in the movie, I think that's the best in cinematic history. Someone can disagree with that. That is one of my favorite sequences in cinematic history. Just the practicality of it. How all these men they're squeezed into this Trojan horse, right? And there's people at the bottom that are dead because they're drowning. People are trying to drink out of straws to get the fresh air of just being underwater. And people are getting stabbed because they're trying to make sure that there's nothing in there, there's no one in there, and people are getting stabbed. They have to close the mouth of that entire thing, and it just shows so much constraint again because they Christopher Nolan could have started off the movie with this sequence, and it would have been the best opening to a movie ever, in my opinion. But oh my god, it was unbelievable. And then them opening the gate and everyone rushing through, it gave me such tremendous Game of Thrones vibes for whatever reason, and just the highs
Dude,
of Game of
yeah,
Thrones,
honestly.
where I was like, "This is incredible! This is incredible!"
Dude, yeah. I don't know. I feel like them not leading off with that is less about like constraint and more just like, hey, we're gonna gas this shit up. We're gonna start off by giving the backstory to everything and fucking gas everyone up here, and then we're gonna let you see for yourself. I feel like
Yeah,
that was more impactful than than if they just let off with that. I feel like if they just started off with just everyone in the Trojan horse, it would have been like it would have been a cool intro nonetheless, but like I think
I
it
can
would
agree
have
with
less
that.
substance.
I can agree with that. But it was incredible. That entire sequence was incredible, and it doesn't even give you the full picture of what happened in Troy during that. And also during this time, Telemachus, Tom Holland,
Mm.
goes to Sparta, right, to meet with
Yeah.
John Bernthal. And I think
Oh
John
my god.
Bernthal does a
I
fantastic
still can't
job.
believe some of the motherfuckers that made it into this movie. John Bernthal. You're telling me the fucking Punisher was in
Oh
this
my
movie
god,
and he was actually good? You're telling me
he was
John Bernthal
phenomenal.
was
He was
actually fucking good in this
phenomenal.
movie?
He was
Holy
phenomenal.
shit,
I
dude.
mean, he was just tremendous. Just especially when they start talking about what happened to his brother as well,
Oh my god, yeah.
Agamemnon or whatever. That
Huge,
was
huge
awesome.
plot point, huge thematic plot point there.
Yeah, it was just incredible. But after he meets with the dead, he finds out that all of his men are going to die. And
Mm.
Odysseus, being the type of leader he is, he wants to make sure they all live, right? And he's going to, or at least keep as many alive as possible, defy the gods, right? And so everything he's warned will happen actually ends up happening. Whirlpool, right? If he avoids the whirlpool, he goes down this cliff thing. They're gonna get attacked. Sirens, inevitably, someone's gonna jump off the boat, and I think that siren sequence is one of the best sequences of the movie as well. I mean, like,
Dude,
we're talking about all these
the
different
sound design,
sequences.
at least in that particular scene, the sound design was fucking on point.
Phenomenal,
You can say what you
phenomenal.
want about Nolan's sound design in every single other one of his movies. When he knows when he has to lock in, bro, for that
That
one
was
scene in
fucking
every single movie,
phenomenal.
and there's always one scene. There's always one scene in fucking Interstellar. There was that one fucking scene in the Odyssey. There was that one scene in fucking oh my god in Oppenheimer. It was the same shit. It was the same shit
Yep,
with him and when they were dropping the bomb.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
It's like
I mean, it was crazy.
it's like they just go ham for the entirety of the movie, and then that one scene they're just like, okay, let's actually fucking let's actually lock in for this.
Just
Let's not
yeah.
just throw in like 50 boom sound effects and just fucking put everything at peak volume.
I mean, who? I would not have the foresight to think, okay, we're gonna put wax over the ears, and we're gonna just cover wax in one ear. It's gonna get a little more like isolated. The sound. Put wax on the other ear, bang, and it's just amazing. I mean, I think Kamish Patel, he is one of the men with Matt Damon, and
Yeah,
he's the one that sort of
he did an excellent job as well.
he did a phenomenal job. He's the one that questions Matt Damon the most. Um, and in that scene, it was phenomenal. It was insane. But after that sequence, it gets to the point when he knew that going to this island, it was, I believe, Zeus, right? There was a bunch of cows, right? And he was warned
It
that
was the
if,
Sun God's island.
yeah,
Yeah,
the sun god, yeah. And if the men were to kill one of the cows, they would all die. And inevitably, Matt Damon tries to stop them, but they do. And when they finally get the go ahead to leave the island because they're kind of stuck there for a while, then this is what our buddy was saying his favorite scene was, where they're on the boat and it's just flashbang, flashbang, lightning.
oh my
Like you can't
god.
see shit that's going on. It is so hectic. And then the ship breaks in
I want to
half.
know how the fuck they shot that scene for that movie. Oh my
It
god,
was
the boat,
fucking
that
nuts.
scene on the boat might have been the most impressive thing from that entire movie.
It
It
was
might have been.
impressive.
Aside from the Troy scene and the fucking the extended Troy scene that spans throughout the entire movie,
Yeah,
aside from that, boat scene is fucking on top.
it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And it's just like everyone's holding on, and they're just like, it, you are just so nervous. If you aren't locked in this movie by this point, I don't know how like you wouldn't be. I just don't understand
It's just
how you aren't.
it's hard to fuck up a scene where you're just on a boat and it's in the middle of a fucking storm. They do it in this. They do it in fucking you know what it's kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of The Wolf of Wall Street, where he's talking about
Yes. Yeah,
where
yeah,
he's trying to get to fucking Switzerland, and he's like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
Chop's fine," and then 5 seconds later, they're capsizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why it
Yeah.
reminded me of that, but it was I think
For
it's a funny
very
little
similar
comparison.
vibes. Yeah. But that was an amazing scene. And then that's when he ends up on Calypso's Island. And this is what we were talking about earlier, that it was kind of like, oh, Calypso, I've been keeping you on this island for 7 years. That sort of thing, where he's like,
Yeah,
I just wanted you to remember. That's I don't really like Charlize Theron, so she's just not my type of actress. But I felt like that was maybe the most undercooked part of the
all right.
movie. But that's when he talks to Athena, or yeah, talks to Athena, and Athena pretty much says, "You got to go back home, right? You have to
Hmm.
take your punishment, right, from Poseidon. Got to go home." And what ends up
That
happening?
was a good scene too, man.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I think Zendaya, she kind of gets thrown in as like a one note actress, which in this movie she kind of acts the same as she always does. But I think she does a solid
Uh,
job. You know?
I don't know. I think for what her role was, she does a really good job of being that like dude, I can't get over that fucking reveal towards the end of the movie where it's like it's why it's going over why Zendaya is or like why Athena is in the form of Zendaya. Bro, that
Yeah,
shit was fucking insane.
it was
That whole
insane.
I already was fucking with the idea of like a goddess in plain sight just appearing to Odysseus throughout his journeys, but that shit was insane. They took it
That
to a
was
next level. I
fucking
didn't even expect
nuts.
that.
And that was a new play. That was a new part of the story. You know, it was. I really liked the direction that they took there. I thought it was very smart to do that. But man, that was fucking incredible. That was an incredible twist. I did not see that coming but they play it really well with beggars taking them in because it might be Zeus or God, right? They believe in that.
Yeah.
That was just incredible. But he goes back, and that's when he begins the plot of killing all these suitors, getting them the fuck out of his house, out of his crib, right? Welcome home, sort
Yeah.
of deal. And
I
they
was a
tamed it down. They tamed it down from the book, but I thought it was incredible. I thought it was incredible.
dude, it was the whole fucking John Wick action scene.
Yeah,
Just
all the
just
arrows in
fucking
him,
crazy ass way to end it off.
all the arrows in him, like the spear in him, and he's just fucking shit up, hitting people's shields. Arrow, 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 knife, knife, knife. Sticks the what is that thing?
He's just jabbing a fucking arrow in people.
Yeah. What was that thing? It was almost like a token of some sort where they did a draw for who was going to join Odysseus' army, and he sticks it inside Robert
Oh my
Pattinson's
god,
mouth.
yeah, and he fucking
Yeah,
oh my god, that was such a cool fucking that was such
yeah,
a cool touch, man.
yeah. That was
I
sick.
I I
Eat
love
your
that.
shame. Eat your shame. That was phenomenal. So overall, there is just so much to love about this movie. I mean, Anton, what would you rate it out of 5?
Personally, I'm so hesitant to put it at a perfect 5. I low-key want to, but I feel like there's too much that I'm looking at in this movie and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe this could have been done a little better. I wouldn't say it's like a perfect masterpiece, but I think it's the closest that he's gotten to his best film. I still think his best film is Oppenheimer, but I think it's a close second.
Okay.
I would, I would put it at like a strong like 4.5.
Okay. I am going between a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5. I'm leaning towards more 5 out of 5. It's up for debate for me whether it's better than Oppenheimer. I think it's along the same lines. Um, it's a top 3 Christopher Nolan movie for me, and there's so
Oh,
much to
for
like
sure,
about
for
it.
sure.
Comment down below what you guys would rate it if you've seen it because it was phenomenal.